Hi everyone! For the next few videos that you'll see on my channel, we are going to be focusing on Father's Day, and I'm really excited because Father's Day is right around the corner. It's about 3 weeks away, so I wanted to get some videos up for you in plenty of time for you to shop for some materials or gain some inspiration so that if you wanted to create any of these projects for the dad in your life, then you have plenty of time to do so. So in this first project, we are going to be making a t-shirt with HTV, and this is a really fun project that is really quick and easy, and it really turns out really nice. So I'm going to be making this shirt for my husband, and I just got a shirt from Target. And it's a really neat little short sleeve baseball tee. I think it's really fun. It's kind of has some blue accents on it. And I am going to pair that with a navy blue Siser Easyweed HTV. So I thought this would look really nice on the front of this white, it's kind of an off-white actually shirt. And then other things we're going to need are a measuring tape so we can make sure our design is sized appropriately. And I'm also going to show you another fun little tool in Cricut Design Space that can be helpful when it comes to t-shirt making. A weeding tool will also come in handy, and I personally like to use a brayer tool when I'm working with HTV or iron-on. And then a heat press mat, and we're also going to be using the biggest EasyPress today. And I'll show you how you can get some heat settings on 651vinyl.com, because that is where I have got my HTV from. So I'll show you where you can find those heat settings so that you know how to set your EasyPress. I think that's it for materials. So what we're going to do real quick is I will just make sure I know the space I have to work with on my t-shirt, and then we will go into Design Space and get our design all ready. So I'm super excited for this shirt. I am going to put Girl Dad on the front of this because obviously my husband is a daddy to only girls so far. So I thought this would be a really fun little idea for his shirt. So let's see here. This is a size medium, and your design will be sized differently based on the size of your t-shirt. So I just wanted to mention the size of this shirt just so you know kind of the size that I'm working with, but depending on the size you're working with and the style of the shirt, your size may be different in terms of design. It might be smaller or bigger, so just know that. Always measure your own product. That way you get the best result. Okay, so I think I'm going to do a width of 9 inches. I think that's going to look really nice. 9 or 9.5 actually will look really good. So we'll just say somewhere between 9 and 9.5 for our shirt. So I'll go into Cricut Design Space with you real quick, and I'll show you another little tool that can help with visually sizing a design, and we will get this design all created and cut out.
Okay, so now that we're in Cricut Design Space, one fun little thing you can do that is helpful with t-shirts is you can go over to this left-hand side, and there is a button called Templates. And if you click on that, it gives you some templates that you can place in your canvas just to help you with some sizing. So I am going to use this baseball t-shirts template, and it's really close to the shirt that I have. It has longer sleeves, but you get the idea. So what I'm going to do is size this up a little bit, and what it does is it puts a rough template around our canvas so we can still see the grid lines and everything, but we do see a little bit of an outline of a shirt that will help us just visually. This is for visual purposes. It's very helpful. It just will help us kind of get an idea for what our design will look like once we have it designed and cut out and ready to go on our shirt. Okay, so what we're going to do is I'm going to add a design here, and I'm going to use it with a combination of an image and some text. So I'm going to go over to the images, and I am just going to type in, I think I typed in dad, and I am using this really cute script image of the word dad. Sometimes when I am working with words, I will go and type them into the images and see if they have any fun little images of them, because sometimes they really do, and it's really easy and quick, and it can be a really fun way to design. So they have a lot of different options, and it says there's 711 results of inspiration just with this keyword of dad. So you can look through all of these. Some of these are really fun too. We have like tennis dad, band dad. So this project is endless in ideas. Look at this one. How cute is that with the little beer Stein down there. I think that's what that's called. That's really fun. So what we are gonna do is we're gonna use this one right here, and I'm gonna go ahead and insert images. And then I'm just going to kind of drag this in the area of my t-shirt, and then I will kind of drag this up. So I think I wanted to stay around 9 to 9.5. So that's at about 9.4. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some text. I'm going to go over to the text box, and I am going to use the text Four Seasons Home Decor. It's a really neat kind of simple block text, and it's skinny. It's really just nice, so it's going to pair well. I like to pair a little bit more of a block and basic text with something curvy. I think it looks really good. So I'm going to write in all caps, girl. And then I'm going to just size that up and put that right in this little opening here. I think that's going to look really nice. Okay, and then I'm going to add another text box with the same font. Again, Four Seasons Home Decor. It does say it's a Cricut Access font, so it should already be in Cricut. And if you are an Access member, you can use that for free. So another text box, and I'm going to say in this one, since 2016. Okay, you could do established or anything like that, but I'm going to do since, I think. And I'm just going to kind of tuck that right down in here. Okay, so that is where I'm going to go with this shirt. I think this looks really, really nice. What I'll do is I will go ahead and drag everything, and I can put this in a nice navy blue or close to it. And then what I'm going to do is, since I like everything just like this and as is, I'm going to make sure that all my spacing is where I want it. So this is the time where you'll kind of play around with everything. Okay, so since I like how this all looks, what I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight everything, and I'm going to come over here, and I am going to say weld. So now welding is going to allow me to print this or cut this all the same time. So now this is one image over here. So we size it all at once, and we can cut it all at once. So I'm going to size that again. I'm going to size that around 9.4. Let's just do 9.5. Just say, we can come up here and just say 9.5. And then that puts our height at about 6, just a tad over 6. So I'm going to remeasure my shirt. That's always a good idea. Once you have your final measurements, go ahead and remeasure your shirt to make sure you like how that looks. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go up here and select my Explorer. You can make this with any of your machines. So you can do it with the Maker, the Explorer. You can do this with the Joy. You might need to get creative with how you cut these, just because these might be getting a little long. So if you want to get the longer mat, I believe it will work. And if you wanted to cut these out in different sections, it would work as well. Let me double check. If I click on Explore, it's just saying it's too big. So you just would have to get creative with how you cut this. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I am going to select Explore, and I'm going to click Make It. And then since we are working with Iron-On HTV, we are going to mirror our image. And then we are going to click continue, and we're going to select our material. So for Siser Easyweed, I find that the material that is closest is, I just set my dial on custom, browse all materials, and I use everyday iron-on. So let me go to the iron-on, select everyday iron-on, and click continue. Okay, and then we're going to go ahead and use default pressure, and then we will load our mat and allow this to cut. So before we click out of here, I'm going to come down and show you the pressing instructions. So I can't remember if I got this particular vinyl from 651 vinyl or if I got it from Expressions vinyl, but it's Siser Easyweed, so the directions are the same. So what we're going to do is we're just going to come down here. I located the product that I'm using, so it's the Siser Easyweed HTV in the navy blue, and then you're just going to come down here to heat application, and you're going to see that it's going to be pressed for 10 to 15 seconds at a temperature of 305. You're going to use medium pressure, and you can peel hot or cold. And then for care instructions, it says just to wait 24 hours before the first wash. Obviously don't dry clean, and wash with warm and mild detergent at a normal setting and no chlorine bleach. So one of the reasons I also like to look up the directions aside from the heat directions is for the care instructions. I think that's really helpful. It just gives you an idea of how to care for your project after it's complete. Okay, so let's go ahead and get our EasyPress preheated, and we'll also get our image all cut out and we can get pressing the shirt.
Okay, so now we can just place our HTV on our mat and we'll get our machine all opened up here. Okay, and then what we're going to do is when you are working with HTV, or at least this particular HTV, you are going to put it shiny side down. So you will see that one side has a little bit more of a dull side and one side is shinier. So you'll just note which side is shiniest and you will lay that down on the mat. And in person, it is so obvious which side to put down. So I'm just going to kind of fold those in half just a little bit just to get it down on the mat. I find that can be helpful. And I'm just going to lay that right down, just like this. And then I like to use my brayer tool. I think it's just helpful getting HTV down on the mat really, really smooth. And this is a brand new mat, so that just wants to stick so quickly. Okay, so I've got that all laid down really nice. And we can go ahead and load our machine. Again, that dial is set to custom. And then we have the everyday iron-on setting in Design Space. So I find it personally easiest just to keep my dial on my Explore machine. I like to just keep it on custom just because I'm so used to just giving my selections in Design Space. It's just easier for me to do that, but you can do it however you would like to do it. So I'm going to go ahead and load it with the double arrow, and then when the Cricut butt flashes like this, we're going to go ahead and cut. And in the meantime, what we can do is we can start heating up our EasyPress so that it can start preheating. Okay, so I have my EasyPress plugged in, and what I'm going to do is click the on button, and then I'm going to select the temperature icon over here and the minus button to time that down to 305. Then I'm going to select the timer button over here, and I'm going to time that down to about 15 seconds. So that's going to go ahead and preheat, and it will give a chime when it is ready. And in the meantime, we can get our t-shirt all laid out. I'm going to go ahead and remove my mat because I don't like having it under my heat mat when I'm pressing. So I just like a bare surface, so I'll get that all removed and we can get to weeding and pressing. Okay, so it's all done cutting, so I'm just going to flip my mat over and peel the mat away from my material. And then I'm going to just cut off all of my extra HTV so I can reuse it in another project. And I have another project in mind for this navy blue, so I'm so excited to see that I have a lot left. So I'm just going to make sure I don't cut into my design here. Looks about right. But there's a lot of extra. You always want to make sure you save your extra before you weed it, because once it's weeded, then you can't reuse it. So I'm just going to make sure all of my scraps are saved, and I can probably even go in there with some scissors and do a little bit more trimming. Okay, so I have a lot of extra, and I think I will also just trim off a little corner as well, because there's a lot in this little corner to save. Okay, so the EasyPress is all preheated and ready to go, and I am just about ready to weed, and we'll get this t-shirt done in no time. So this is a really actually fast project. Doesn't really take a lot of time, and you can personalize it any way you want and put anything on your shirt, so it's really a fun gift idea. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pierce a corner here and start weeding out this design. I'm excited to see how this looks, especially with this navy color. I think it's going to be beautiful. So here we go. And you just want to go nice and slow, although iron-on or HTV is very forgiving, so it's a little bit easier to weed than adhesive vinyl, you'll notice. And with this design, with the dad image, there are a lot of little pieces inside that text that you're going to need to go weed out. So you'll just want to take your time and make sure you get everything weeded that is not supposed to be in the final design. it's looking really cute. I love how these, this font paired well with that script dad. I think it's going to look really neat. Okay, so I have that there. Woo, it's staticky today. Okay, so now I'm just going to go through the middles of my letters and make sure that I weed them out. And again, being very careful with this dad word, because there are going to be some areas that have little pieces to weed out that you're going to want to watch for this particular file. But they're really cool. Really adds to the design. Okay. Should have grabbed my little desktop trash can for this. That's okay. Okay. And right here. So let me know if you guys are starting to do any gift ideas for Father's Day and what you guys are working on. I'd love to hear what everybody's doing. I'm excited for you guys to see the next two videos as well. The design on the next one is really cute, so you guys will like it. Okay, there we go, and here we go. Okay, and then we have just two more little spaces down here, and we should be done. So then I like to really, whoops, I have a little piece in here. Then I like to really make sure, by going over and really looking at my design, I like to make sure that I have all of my pieces completely out, and I think I do. I just kind of run my weeding tool along the text. That way my eye can just really focus on each spot, and I do. I have them all out. Okay, so I'm just going to clean up my space, and then we will get this all ready to press. So if I turn over, that is what it looks like. Isn't that cute? I think it's really neat. I'm really happy with how that turned out. It took me a while to design this or get this idea. I just had a hard time thinking of how exactly I wanted it to look, and this is exactly what I was hoping it would look like. So that's always a really good feeling. Okay, so I want to make sure I don't have any little scraps on my design, and we can go ahead and grab our shirt and get to pressing. Okay, so I have my shirt all laid down, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my press and I am just going to run it over the shirt for about 5 seconds just to get all the moisture out, and also just to make sure all the wrinkles are out of the shirt. So this is a really important step. You never want to skip this step. If you need help starting out with your EasyPress, I did an unboxing, and it really was helpful just to kind of start getting to know the machine and what steps are really important to take when learning and starting with HTV. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my design and I'm just going to lay it down on my shirt, and then I'll grab my measuring tape and verify that this is where I want it. But isn't that neat? I love the colors together. I think I'm going to move that down just a little though. Maybe right there. That looks better to me. Okay. That looks nice. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to, I think I like the height. That is about 3.5 inches from the top of this collar. Yeah, right about almost 4, but I think that looks really, really good. I like how that looks. Okay, so I'm going to do that there, and then let me look at, here we have 5.5, and we have 5.25. That looks really good to my eye though, so I don't know that I'm going to move it. Should I move it a little bit? Oh. I don't know. I liked how it was, I think. It's hard to center because the girl part is not centered. It's more of the dad part. So it's a little hard to rely on a measuring tape, really. Oh, my eye just did it again. So let's see. Hold. Oh, wait. That's actually 5.5 and 5. Okay. We are good. We are good. Not gonna fuss with it. And then we are at about the same. So we're at about 3 3/4 for that height from the shirt. Okay, so how does that look? I think that looks really good. I think I'm gonna go for it. Okay, so now what I'm gonna do is I have my material preheated, I have my design placed down. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna grab my press and I'm going to press for 10 to 15 seconds. So I'm gonna go ahead, place my press right over my design and click the Cricut button. And then I'm just going to give pressure. I think it said medium pressure, so I'll give a little bit of muscle in there and watch that count down. It's just about done. And then what I am going to do, it doesn't say on their instructions, but I've gotten in the habit of just flipping my shirt over and repressing it for an additional 10 to 15 seconds. It's just a habit that I've gotten into. And I know Cricut recommends it for theirs, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. So now what we can do is it does say it's a hot or cool peel. I like to wait and just kind of go in the middle with like a warm peel, if that makes sense. So what you can do is you can remove the mat from underneath your design. It helps the design just cool down a lot quicker if you place it on a cool surface, because those mats actually hold in a lot of heat as they are supposed to. That's why they're so effective. And so I'm just going to wait for this to cool down and being careful because it is very warm. So I'm just going to be really careful. I am 110% super happy with how this turned out. I love it. It's going to be, I think he's going to love it as well. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is, it is warm on the cooler side, but it's getting cooler every second. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab the corner and I'm just going to peel at an angle, and I'm just going to really watch my edges and make sure everything is laid down and that nothing is trying to come up. Looks good. Okay, how cute is that? Oh my gosh, I love how that turned out. Okay, so this turned out great. I am so happy with how it looks. This is exactly what I wanted. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. Now, remember, with t-shirts, you can personalize them any way you want. From the t-shirt that you actually purchase, there are tons of different styles and colors, to the actual design that you put on there. And Cricut Design Space has a lot of fun Father's Day things, so make sure you browse around in there. So t-shirts are super easy to personalize. They're really appreciated. They're really fun. You can use a ton of different HTV. I want to mention, if you're peeling up your HTV carrier sheet and you notice that anything isn't laying down as it should, you're just going to place this right back over your design, and then you can repress for another 10 to 15 seconds just to make sure that everything lays down like it should. And if it does, then you can go ahead and just discard this little piece and you'll be all done. Okay, I hope you guys enjoyed this. Please let me know if you guys are starting to craft for Father's Day and what you're working on. And I really, really hope to see you guys in the comments. Please give this a thumbs up if you thought this was fun. I think he's going to love this, and I am in love with it. So I think it's going to be a really fun little surprise on Father's Day. All right, everyone, have a wonderful week, and I'll see you in the next video.